Yeah, man. Back up in this thing again. I'm going to go ahead and say, welcome, everybody. Doing a little bit different today, man. It's going to be a little setting and sensory overload for you. Got the wind in the background, the woman and the dog in here. I'll live back in the woods, you see. The woman and the kids and the dogs and me. Anyway, baby. You don't even know what song that was, do you? Yeah, she doesn't know what song that was. Okay. A country boy can survive. You still don't know what song that was, do you? Got her. She still doesn't know, and I said the title. Okay. Hey, man. Welcome back, y'all. Having a little fun today. And you know what? Today's actually a sad day. Screech died today, Dustin Diamond. I was just perusing the news and saw that. No jokes attached there. But I will say this. I think that would make an interesting biopic going from a 90s sitcom star to porn and whatever else. But in all seriousness, man, yeah, 44. So I don't know. I don't know the cause. We were just kind of browsing. It looked like I saw somewhere where they said that he had gotten cancer before it happened, but I don't know if that's the actual cause. So I don't want to say, but yeah, man, it's kind of man. It hits you right in the chest. All the people of my generation. Anyway, I'm not here to talk to you guys about that today. Today I want to talk to you about it is February 1st. Yeah, you know what that means, right? February the 1st. You're here with Planet Hog. You know what that means, right? Black History Month. That's right, baby. And the good folks of Oregon said, what better way to ring in Black History Month than making crack legal? And here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm at the Associated Press's website. Oregon, first state to decriminalize possession of drugs. All right. Let's dive on in here. Police in Oregon can no longer arrest someone for possession of a small amounts of heroin, methamphetamines, LSD, oxycodone, and other drugs as a ballot measure that decriminalized them took effect on Monday. I actually remember when this ballot was on. I actually did an episode covering this ballot, some of the ramifications of this ballot. I just didn't know it was going to take effect this quickly. That was insane. That was only a couple months ago, but all right. I mean, they're not messing around. Let's go. Instead, those found in possession would face a $100 fine or a health assessment that could lead to addiction counseling. Backers of the ballot measure, which Oregon voters passed by a wide margin in November, hailed it as a revolutionary move for the United States. Yeah, I think that thing passed. I think the yay was in the 70s in the percentage. It was either in the 60s or the 70s. It was not even close. But it says a lot about, here you go, Oregon. Quote, today the first domino of our cruel and inhumane war on drugs has fallen, setting off what we expect to be a cascade effect of other efforts centering health over criminalization, said Cassandra Frederic, executive director of the Drug Policy Alliance, which spearheaded the ballot initiative. I'm going to give you that quote again. That was a lot, wasn't it? Whole lot of horseshit in a whole little bit of space. Let's see. Today, the first domino of our cruel and inhumane war on drugs has fallen, setting off what we expect to be a cascade of other efforts centering health over criminalization. And that is Oregon speak for no more consequences. Do what you want to do. Moving on, ballot measure 110's backers said treatment needs to be the priority and that criminalizing drug possession was not working. Besides facing the prospect of being locked up, having a criminal record makes it difficult to find housing and jobs and can haunt a person for a lifetime. Who knew? Did you know that? That if you get locked up, it'll fuck your life up? Damn, baby's hurt. Okay, maybe I need to pay more attention. 24 district attorneys had opposed the measure, saying it was reckless and would lead to an increase in the acceptability of dangerous drugs. Makes sense. But it's Oregon. You can't do that there. All right. Instead of facing arrest, those found by law enforcement with personal use amounts of drugs would face a civil citation, quote, like a traffic ticket, end quote, and not a criminal citation, said Matt Sutton, spokesman for the Drug Policy Alliance. Under the new system, addiction recovery centers will be tasked with the, quote, triaging the acute needs of the people. Oh, wow, what an idiot. You know what that word is, dear? That word is triage. I am not even going to edit that shit out. That's for the people who hang around. Okay, wow. Man, this Knob Creek, boy, it'll get you going. Under the new system, addiction recovery centers will be tasked with triaging the acute needs of the people who use drugs and assessing and addressing any ongoing needs, thorough, intensive case management, and linkage to care and services, end quote. Okay. The addiction recovery centers will be funded by millions of dollars of tax revenue from Oregon's legalized marijuana industry. There you go. So we're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul. So as long as people keep smoking weed, the people who smoke crack will get their treatment. That seems like some kind of weird, for those of you who remember the Saw movies, that seems like some kind of weird jigsaw puzzle, torture puzzle, where as long as the dude keeps smoking weed, the crack man lives. Okay. Very good. Very good. This is an intricate little web of deviance that they've woven here. That diverts some of the funds from the other programs and entities that already receive it. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me read that all over again. I want to make sure I get the context on this one. The addiction recovery centers will be funded by millions of dollars of tax revenue from Oregon's legalized marijuana industry. That diverts some funds from other programs and entities that already receive it. I did not misread this. I read it again because I thought I fucked something up because it doesn't make any sense, what I'm about to say. Yeah, okay, listen to this. All right, last time. The addiction recovery centers will be funded by millions of dollars of tax revenue from Oregon's legalized marijuana industry. That diverts some funds from other programs and entities that already receive it, like schools. So they fucked around and created a favela. It's a favela. The drug money is funding schools in Oregon. And now they're going to take the drug money from the schools and put it to the crackheads. Wow. Stranger than fiction. Okay. Let's get through this before my head explodes. That is amazing to me. All right, we got a little bit more. I'll just blast through this. Okay, we did that. The ballot measure capped the amount of pot tax revenue that schools, mental health, alcoholism. Let me do that again. The ballot measure capped the amount of pot tax revenue that schools, mental health, alcoholism, and drug services, the state police, and cities and counties receive at $45 million annually. You know, that's got to be pretty insulting for cops who spent their entire life enforcing marijuana laws, whether they agreed with them or not, to know that they're now being funded, their entire department's being funded by marijuana money. All right. Let's do that again. The ballot measure capped the amount of pot tax revenue that schools, mental health, alcoholism, and drug services, the state police, and cities and counties receive at $45 million annually, with the rest going to a drug treatment and recovery services fund. The fund will be awash in money if the sales trends for marijuana continue as expected. See? There it is. I didn't make it up. All right. Well, as long as you people in Oregon keep smoking weed, the cops can do their job, kids can go to school, and crackheads can get their medicine. Just keep smoking weed, Oregon. Your state needs you. All right. Keep it up. In the 2020 fiscal year, marijuana tax revenues peaked at $133 million with a 30% increase over the previous year and a 545% increase over 2016 when pot taxes began being collected from legal, registered recreational marijuana enterprises around the state. The other recipients of the pot tax revenues are now saying that after an assessment and related treatment options are set up, the distribution of those revenues will deserve another look. A leading lawmaker agrees. In the future, this is a quotation here, in the future, as Oregon's treatment programs reach full funding, the state should evaluate what other services would benefit from our continually growing marijuana tax revenues. Oregon Education Association President John Larson said in an email. I love that they're not even trying to hide that everybody in that state smokes weed. They are basing that state, that might be what they mean by going green. That might be the first state that is completely funded on weed tax. That is insane that they have hitched so many wagons to this weed tax horse. And it's pulling. It's pulling, man. Good God almighty. All right. Hey. Oregon. All right. Larson said, quote, balanced approach to budgeting, end quote, will support communities and students. The OEA union represents about 44,000 educators. State Senator Floyd Prozansky, chair of the Senate Committee on Judiciary and Ballot Measure 110 implementation, said he expects Oregon's cannabis tax revenues to increase exponentially if recreational marijuana in the United States is legalized. He expects that to happen within 4 years. It's a very specific timetable. I wonder if he's got a tip, like that Nancy Pelosi tip, where she just happens to throw a whole bunch of their money into electric cars, and then all of a sudden Joe Biden just happens to say, hey, I'm switching the entire fleet to electric vehicles. That was a coincidence. That could not have been orchestrated. If it was orchestrated, it'd be illegal. Come on. They wouldn't do that. All right. Quote. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That would make the drug treatment and recovery services fund, quote, oversaturated with revenue, end quote, as out-of-state consumers legally buy Oregon's potent marijuana. Wow, they're actually advertising how good their shit is. What world do we live in? This is amazing. And I mean amazing in the literal sense of the word. I am amazed. Prozansky said in a telephone interview, quote, it would be foolish for us as a legislature to think that the voters would want us to put hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars into a program that would be, at that point, I would think, having a gold standard. End quote. In addiction recovery services, the Democrats said, wow. This isn't. Maybe that's this writer. This has been written very interesting. It's not very It's written in almost like conversational terms. It's very interesting to me. Maybe that's how they write now. Very, very interesting. All right. Let me do that again. Quote, it would be foolish for us as a legislator to think that the voters would want us to put hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars into a program that would be, at that point, I would think, having a gold standard in addiction recovery services. The Democrat said. Well, but Sutton noted that besides traditional treatment services, the fund would also be spent on housing and job assistance to provide long-term stability for people struggling with addiction. I can't imagine, this is a quotation, I can't imagine a situation where this fund becomes oversaturated anytime soon, Sutton said. Right, because there's no way that legalizing personal use hard drugs could create thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of addicts in a short time. There's no way that could happen. All right. I mean, she makes sense. What do you want me to say? Oregon is a pioneer in liberalizing drug laws. Oh, wow. It was the first state in 1973 to decriminalize marijuana possession. In 2014, Oregon voters passed, they decriminalized marijuana possession in 1973. That explains how you get these laws now. Those people have been high for a long time. That's generations of this is just a continuation. This is beautiful, actually. And I see that. Wow. All right. In 2014, Oregon voters passed a ballot measure legalizing recreational use of marijuana. But Sutton said there are no plans to pursue legalization and a regulated market of hard drugs in Oregon. We'll see. Addiction recovery centers must be available by October 1st. One center must be established within each existing coordinated care organization service area. After decriminalization, about 3,700 fewer Oregonians per year will be convicted of a felony or misdemeanor possession of controlled substances, according to estimates by the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission. The measure will also likely lead to significant reductions in racial and ethnic disparities. You knew it was coming. You knew that shit was coming. They could not pass this measure. That's what I'm saying. They did it on February 1st for a reason. If you're black and you live in Oregon, happy Black History Month. Have one on them. Well, anyway, let's get back to this. I don't want to ruin something as sanctimonious as ethnic disparities. The measure will also likely lead to significant reductions in racial and ethnic disparities in convictions and arrests, the state commission said. Drugs specified by the measure include LSD, cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, methadone, oxycodone, and MDMA, commonly known as anybody? Ecstasy. It's a party in Oregon. It is a party in Oregon. While this approach is new in the United States, yes it is, several countries, including Portugal, the Netherlands, and Switzerland, have already decriminalized possession of small amounts of hard drugs, according to the United Nations. And you know what else? All of those nations are the size of my fucking pinky. Portugal's 2000 decriminalization brought no surge in drug use. Drug deaths fell, while the number of people treated for drug addiction in the country rose 20%. from 2001 to 2008 and then stabilized, Portuguese officials have said. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of this article. Wow. Well, not much more to say about that. And I'm looking at this article now, and you see these people carrying these boxes with these signs. One of them says, "A better Oregon." How about that? What a world that we live in, where they said, no, let's let these people smoke these. It's not as if we don't have any hard evidence, right? It's not as if we don't know what these drugs result in. And in a lot of ways, for some of these people at least, getting arrested is the best thing that ever happens to them. If for no other reason, then it keeps them alive a little while longer. It's just a hedonistic utopia, I guess, at this point. Once you legalize cocaine, how do you arrest anyone for anything else? And that is a serious question. Once you say you can have meth in your possession, how do you arrest anyone for anything else? Well, Oregon, I guess you get what you vote for. This last part here that I want to address is kind of funny to me. Is where they were talking about the disparities. The measure will also likely lead to significant reductions in racial and ethnic disparities. Why? Why would it lead to less arrests? Are you... Now, these good liberal people aren't insinuating that minorities use drugs more than anyone else, are they? They wouldn't do that. That's not what they were insinuating there, was it? It would lead to significant reductions in racial and ethnic disparities in convictions and arrests. And the other part about that I find very interesting is by their very nature, you're presuming that cops are racist. Yes? Because that's the only reason you would bring up race in terms of disparities in arrests. Unless you're insinuating, again, that black people are predispositioned to methamphetamine and crack and heroin and all that good stuff. So if the premise of your argument, if we're already to assume that the cops are racist, then it doesn't matter that you decriminalize this. They'll just find something else. So that just another installment in the saga of why I hate that phrase. Racial and ethnic disparities. The disparities are so great. You know where else the disparities are so great? I'm sorry. Anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's where we're going to end this one today. Oregon, happy Black History Month. Everybody else, happy Crack Day. No, wait a minute. Reverse that. It's Crack Day in Oregon. Don't make that mistake. I did not tell you to do that. Oh, God. All right. I'm getting out of here. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. And, I'll see you on the flip side.